Welcome back to the COS Business Podcast. My name is Andrew Hasley, and I am the host of the show. Today we have on Titus Kleppinger.
Excellent.
Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Nice.
Well said. Well said.
That's what rehearsal's for.
Right? Good deal. Good.
Yeah, so could you tell us what you do in like a sentence or two?
Glow, growth, and development, coming from heart and working in flow.
Okay, sweet. Well, we're going to get into that in this episode. But first, I'm going to read the advertisements. The first advertisement and sponsor of the show is me and my company, Vehement Visuals. We produce videos for business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, speakers. I'm flying out to Sioux Falls next week to film a speaker, actually.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. And so we really create videos for businesses and entrepreneurs, essentially. The main thing that we do is create something we like to call the video business card, where it's more than just a video. It's about building a deeper connection with your audience, with your prospects, but also helping them make an informed buying decision. There's strategies within the video and implementation strategies outside the business, outside the video, that can help you save time, money, and energy in your business using the power of video. That was the best advertisement I've made for my business, I think, on an episode.
I have that effect on people.
Okay, cool, good. Nice, yeah, because usually, I don't have an ad script for it, but I usually just kind of improvise my ad. And that leads into the next ad for this show is advertising the advertising space on this show. If you'd like me to read a 15-second to 30-second ad script about your business at the beginning of every episode, and we could even extend that to a minute if we want to. I think that's about the max I'll go. But I kind of riff it off, and I kind of read your ad script that you send me in front of the guest as well. So it's like, it makes it a little interactive kind of ad as well. And I don't think many it's a unique advertising opportunity, I think, because I get to read your ad not only on the beginning of the show, but in front of the guest as well. And I think that can make it interactive. And I actually want to encourage people who want to take this opportunity to design your ad to interact with the guest. I think that'd be fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so that's the second advertisement. The third advertisement is, I just want to promote the Patreon page that we have for the show. It's patreon.com/COS Business. I won't get into it. If you want to check it out, check it out.
There you go. Right on.
All right. So I'm going to roll the intro music, and then we'll get on with the interview. This is a show where we have real conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners who are mostly in Colorado Springs, doing things in the community of Colorado Springs. So Titus.
Yes.
How's it going?
It's going incredible.
Good.
Life is grand.
Yes, it is. Lots of opportunities out there, even in the moments where it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
That's what I've had to learn. That's a big lesson that I've had to instill in myself, I think.
So tell me about that. Tell me what you mean by that.
Yeah. Well, even what I mean by that is there's struggles that happen in life that's inevitable. There's going to be things that happen in your life that are just going to suck. But even in those moments, you got to remember, where's the opportunities? You got to remember, where do I focus my energy? Even it might be hard at points. You got to really focus on the opportunities and not continuing to dwell on certain things that are happening in your life. And that's what I mean right now, because that lesson keeps kicking me in my butt.
Right. Okay. So the reason that you're continually going through that lesson is because you haven't learned it yet.
Maybe, yeah.
When you learn the lesson, you won't have to deal with it.
That is true. Okay, well, I need to figure out what that lesson is.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we can figure that out on this episode.
Right? Exactly. Yes, let's dive deep. Let's go.
For sure.
Yes.
Well, before we do that, I would like to talk about your business a little bit.
Okay.
And what is your business here in Colorado Springs?
Well, I will tell the story of, in October of 2018, I discovered my heart.
Okay.
And I started a workshop. I had a workshop here that had 4 speakers. The speakers were mental mindset, health and nutrition, relationships and marketing, all tied together with heart and working in flow. And so I would have 4 different speakers. We had a workshop, and we would invite guests to come along and learn. And we did that through 2019. I was prepared to go into 2020. COVID hit, and so I put a pause on the workshop. But I didn't put a pause on was my investment in myself. And I went in January of 2020, I went to LA and I did a Dream Builders workshop with Mary Morrissey and basically scripted out the ideal life at that point. And I continued to revise that and improve it. And we did exercises that took that script that we created for our ideal life and we impressed it upon our subconscious. And every day since then, I've continually walked into that picture that I've painted.
Well, I want to figure out how you've impressed that into your subconscious, but first I got to check this real quick. I usually have that camera turned around the monitor, and I can't see if it's recording, and it's making me paranoid.
Go ahead.
All right. Yes, I really want to really learn what this script is that you wrote, and how you've impressed and put it into your subconscious.
So we did 4 categories. The first one was physical, right? What does your optimal me look like? Fit, healthy. I've actually gone to the point of saying that my body is plaque free because my dad died of a heart attack, and plaque is a hardening and so on and so forth in the blood. And so you really, when you come to realize how powerful you are in creating your own life, you can take it down to the minute detail. And so we started out with the physical, and we basically designed the physical life that we wanted, the body, the activities. I like to hike, I like to bike, I like to climb, I like to camp. And so that was all inside the physical paragraph, we'll say. And then we go to relationships. And what do your relationships look like? Whether it be your significant other, whether it be your children, the relationships in business. What are those relationships that you have, and what do you want them to look like? Not what they are now, but what do you want them to be? Then the third paragraph is your vocare. The vocare is your work, your purpose, your passion. And so I designed that. I put glow into that paragraph, was a big part of that.
Vocare, is that like another language?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, vocare is your vocation.
Okay, nice.
And then time and money freedom. What's your time and money freedom look like? That was the fourth paragraph that I scripted out. And so, yeah, basically I've put it out on paper in words. I've taken those words and I've created an image in my mind that goes along with that paragraph, that goes along with that. And I basically walk into that picture continuously.
What are some ways that you walk into that picture?
You live.
You live? Okay. How do you live? Do that, like some things that you like. Are there daily routines to help you get into that at first?
So one of the things that I put in that paragraph was I like to lay in my hammock.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
And so when I lay in my hammock, I am creating physically what I wrote about in the past. When I work with Glow, when I sit at a podcast with you, when I speak full time or whatever, I am basically creating in this world, manifesting in this world, in this reality, what I wrote down on paper back in January. And so, yes, there are daily routines that I go through. I pray and meditate. I have a handwriting exercise that I go through, and I journal. I read books, and then part of Glow is coming from heart and working in flow. And so I always look to find areas or find ways that I can tap into source and flow.
Yeah. I love getting in the flow. There's certain techniques you can use to help you optimize like getting into flow. Like certain like I think I made a whole video about it like in 2017 actually. Yeah.
Yep. And you can change your state. Your state of being.
Yeah.
Right? we could play some music right now and have it very depressing. and we could lower our vibration to a depressing mood by playing that music.
That vibrational stuff, not to cut you off, that's what I was getting at the beginning of the episode, was those lower vibrational and higher vibrational thoughts. Stuff sucks, but dwelling on them is lower vibrational thoughts. How do you get out of that? And like to go on what you were just saying though, is like you were saying, shifting the thoughts can shift the emotion or shift the motive, actually,
Yeah. Yep. And so it sounds like you have the awareness that you're in that space, right? In that lower vibrational state. The question is, how long do you stay there? How long do you reside there? It's okay to have the thought. It's okay to even sit there for a minute. And I encourage people to examine the feeling, right? Say, oh, I feel like this. Why do I feel like this? What is causing me to feel like this? It's a lot about the questions you ask yourself. And when you ask yourself those questions and sit there and realize, okay, what is it that I need to learn? And then you can choose, and I make the choice to set it aside.
Yes.
And when you set it aside and say, okay, I'll learn the lesson, but I reside up here, and I'm going to take myself back up to that.
And when you set it aside, what are the actions you do when you set it aside? After you've set it aside, what's next?
Clean and clear.
Okay.
Clean and clear. So we really we don't give our subconscious and who we truly are enough credit, right? There's a harmony. We talk about vibration. Well, you have a DNA. You have a spark in your life that is planted there by your Creator, right? And when you learn to be true and authentic to yourself, when you learn to be in that vibration and in that harmony of your true self, that's where you want to be, right?
Yeah, that's happiness. That's
bliss. Yeah, happiness. Exactly. And we let the cares of this world, we let the paradigms, we let life, we let society, we let our cares, our concerns, our worries cover up, right? There's in a book I read, it says you light a candle and you set it on the shelf. You don't light a candle and put it under a basket. And so I tell people, light your candle. It's lit. Turn up your candle, live life fully, and let it shine.
Let it radiate out of you.
Bingo. Bingo. Let everybody see it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because what that does is it sheds light on their darkness. It sheds light on the things that are in their life that are covering up their light.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're shining. And what happens to darkness when you turn on the light?
It goes away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's my purpose, is to just be a huge light and make an impact in the world and help people get from where they're at to where they want to be.
Okay. So how do you do that? What's your modes of reaching? What's your goals, I guess, actually?
Well, my goals are to make an impact in the world and to touch people's lives. I do it in several ways. I have a nonprofit that I've started.
Nice.
I have a book that just hit Amazon.
Okay.
So if they go to Amazon, they can do a search in Amazon for Glow and my name, Titus.
Okay.
And you will see a book cover with a waffle on it.
So Glow Titus.
Glow Titus. Okay. We'll get them to the book. If they do Glow Waffles, it'll pop up.
Nice.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
Is there a whole chapter on waffles in there?
The book title is Waffles 2.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay.
Yes.
So is there a Waffles 1?
There is.
Okay.
Yes. It's still in editing.
Okay. Well, interesting. So it's like Star Wars.
Yes, it is exactly like Star Wars. I released 2 before I released 1.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
That's cool. Yep. So is that an acronym for something?
Waffles?
Yeah. Or what does that mean?
No, waffles are. It is an improvement over a pancake.
It is. Yeah.
Right. A waffle has been pressed. A waffle has character.
Yeah.
Not saying that a pancake hasn't been pressed. Not saying that a pancake doesn't have character. For me, a waffle is a pancake leveled up.
Yeah, it's like from a Pikachu to a Raichu.
Yeah, sure. Okay, if you say so. Yes, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I like that. And that's the concept of the idea inside the book?
The book is a conglomeration of several coaches, speakers, teachers. They gave us a bio, and they wrote us a chapter in their life, a little bit about where they've come from, some of their challenges, and a little bit about what they're looking to do and make an impact in life today.
Okay.
And so there's 13 or so different authors in Waffles too.
So there's just a bunch of waffles in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's a stack.
Yeah, nice. Sweet. You got some syrup on top and everything?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
with
good.
a little a dollop.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And some strawberries and some Cool Whip, and exactly.
That's it sounds like now I'm hungry.
Right. We're going to lunch afterwards.
Okay. All right. So with this business, you said you started it back with this mission, I guess. You started it like a couple years ago.
October 2018, and people ask me, how long have I been doing this? Mm-hmm. And I tell them I've been preparing for this my whole life. Mm-hmm. I was in sales, marketing, and business development pretty much my whole adult life. Mm-hmm. And so, but being in sales, you learn how to deal with people. You learn how to articulate your words. There's so much that you learn in that.
Yeah.
And so
They say like almost every billionaire has had some kind of sales training, or like, I mean, that's a broad statement, but I mean, like, there's some, I don't know the exact like statement, but it says like a lot of successful entrepreneurs who glowed up,
glow, exactly.
yeah.
Glow.
Who like, Sam Walton, Walmart creator, some of the biggest corporations have a background in sales, some kind of sales, because it teaches you like what you were just saying. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
When I was in my early, I know the first teacher that I had, his name was Jim Rohn. I don't know if you're familiar with Jim Rohn. My mom gave me his Success in the 90s tape set.
Okay.
So that was part of it. I saw Zig Ziglar in the 90s. Mm-hmm. It had actually Christopher Reeves was still alive, so he came out on stage. I saw Christopher Reeves.
Oh, nice.
And he was in his wheelchair at that time. But yeah, and I've always been on the personal development path. And so at this point, I've taken the sales and marketing and business development, and I've taken the self-development and the growth and the becoming, and I've merged them into Glow Growth and Development.
Nice. Okay. So when you were in sales and business development, what were you doing? Were you running businesses or working for a company or?
So I spent 17 years in IT.
Okay.
So that was, I'm somewhat techie, but I got tired of chasing technology. Mm-hmm. And so I stepped out of that world. And, but yes, I've had several businesses myself that I had, and lots of lessons, right? Do this, don't do that. You were talking about stressful moments or moments of worry or whatever. There's been times where I've laid on my bed, looked at the ceiling, and wondered, what was I doing? Mm-hmm. And so you grow, hopefully you grow past that or beyond that. And when you can become a bigger person than your problem, then you can solve the problem. You can't solve the problem being the same person that created the problem.
Yeah.
And,
for sure.
And so it's a continual growth process. And I like to help people walk that journey. Mm-hmm. Basically, what I do is I collapse time for people.
Yeah.
And by collapsing time, it helps them get to where they want to be faster.
Yeah.
We call them, some people would refer to them as quantum leaps. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of fun.
What are some of the things you do to help them? I assume that script and subconsciously implanting it in your mind is part of it.
Yeah, one of the biggest things is I see them for who they are. Mm-hmm. And on occasion, I always ask them, what do you want? Mm-hmm. What is it that you want? Define and describe who you are. Define and describe who you want to be. Mm-hmm. And then I help them hold that and that image. And a lot of times it's very easy for people to have that image, then turn right around, see their life as it is, and go back to the status quo.
Yeah.
And so accountability is a part of it, and helping them to say, hey, and I'm a reminder, like, hey, remember that. And so it basically helps them walk that journey to the new self, to who they really are, who they want to be, the true self.
So it's you're coaching essentially then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, I do coaching. Yep.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of what Tony Robbins has done for a lot of people. That's because he does some amazing work with that. I think his original mentor was Jim Rohn, if I remember correctly.
You are correct.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, sweet. So I dig that world. I love that world. I think it's powerful. What do you think some of the biggest challenge you have with growing this company, I guess?
Growing the company. Well, the biggest challenge is my mindset and my paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have a $50 billion dream for Glow. Okay. And so the only reason that wouldn't come into fruition would be me.
For sure.
And my limited thoughts and my limited. So I recently told myself and people that I want to be a crusher of paradigms.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Right? So it's all those paradigms that we tell ourselves. It's all the paradigms that people have told us that keep us back. And so I want to just basically eliminate all the paradigms and run as fast as I can, as quickly as possible towards that dream.
Mm-hmm.
And am I always successful in doing that every minute of the day? No. But you shoot for the stars and land on the moon, or shoot for the universe and you hit the stars. So.
I hit Alpha Centauri.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like it. Yeah. So what do you mean when you say paradigm? What does that mean?
For me, paradigms are beliefs.
Okay.
Right? And it's a belief that you have, and I'm good at spotting my own and other people's paradigms, right? And how they talk, it betrays them. People are betrayed by their words.
Yeah.
And they use words like one of the word that comes to mind.
Neurolinguistic programming.
Yeah.
That's what I've been learning about that recently.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah. And so one of somebody that I know, she uses the word scary a lot.
Mm.
And I told her the other day, I said, you need to eliminate that word from your vocabulary, because she says, oh, it's going to be scary. And when she labels something scary, then she's hesitant or resistant to go down that way.
Yes.
Right. So don't label scary to whatever that is. Just say, I'm excited. It's a new journey. It's a new opportunity, and walk the road. When you start putting, I was on a podcast last week, and the host says to me, he says, oh man, he says, that's good. He says, it's going to take a long time to implement that. Okay. And I said, why is it going to take a long time? And he goes, well, I don't know.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. And I said, exactly. I said,
and we all do that. Like, we all do stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. And we put a limitation on ourselves. Oh, I can do that. It's going to take me a long time to do it. Like your radio show here, right? There's things that you want to accomplish in the future. Well, why can't you accomplish them now?
Patience is one of them.
maybe you need to learn patience. Yeah. Sure. Right.
But why can't I though?
Exactly.
Like, there's certain levers that I just need. If you sit down and think hard enough and get out of your own way.
If you get out of your own way. And that's the great thing about having a coach is they don't have your paradigms typically. And so they can say, hey, you're just in your own way.
There's a certain few big things that I could do and focus on that I haven't. Some that I don't know, and one that I know specifically. I need to get on the news. I think that'll help grow my audience overnight. Maybe even double it overnight. That's just one thing, though. That's just one little step, though. That's just one coming off the top of my mind.
So there's a book that I would recommend you read. It's called The One Thing.
Okay.
And it's I want to say it's by Gary Keller.
And I think I've heard of it. What is it?
It's called The One Thing. Gary Keller, and Gary Keller created Keller Williams. He was one of the.
Oh, that's why you're looking at Crystal right there.
Yes, exactly. So
okay. Wow.
So I'm sure she has the book, right? So The One Thing, and what is the one thing that you could do today that would change everything? And so I might suggest, don't look at the 3 or 4 things. Stick with that one thing. Get on the news,
and then the next thing will come up. Yeah. Right. It's similar. Warren Buffett. He had. I don't know if he had given this advice or someone gave it to him. I think he's the one giving the advice actually. But he was saying, like, he told someone, I think it's Warren Buffett, to list out the 25 things that they need to do. And then he said, circle the top 5, prioritize them, and get rid of all the other ones. And just focus on those things. And that's how he said, he's been able to grow his success. If it is Warren Buffett that I'm quoting.
Right. It's the concept. There's universal laws and there's universal truths, right? And so, or correct. And so stick with those.
Yeah.
You would be surprised how when you look at truly the root of things and not so much the weed or the flower, right? So many times we get caught up at looking at the weed. Oh, we're like, oh, we need to cut the weeds. Oh, we need to trim the bushes. Oh, we need to cut the flower or whatever. When it's really the root that we need to deal with. And so when we can actually go down deep and get into the root of the thing and start operating and working there, some of the things that I've done recently is like putting Miracle Grow in, and watering your
into
plant.
the roots.
Exactly. Exactly. Do they put Miracle Grow on the leaf?
No, I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
I know that it's designed and originally, those little white sticks that you stick into the soil.
Exactly. So, anyway, dealing with the roots, dealing with the roots in life. And
that may require uprooting the whole system.
I encourage it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I do it to myself often subconsciously.
I tell people, I said, there's 2 ways to clean your closet, or 3 ways actually, don't do it. The one way is to go through and look at each article of clothing and take out the one that you don't want. And the other way is just to reach your arms into the closet and grab everything and just dump it on the bed. That's
the way I like to do things is when I'm cleaning or whatever, just or organizing, just a pile in the middle and pull it out from there.
Yeah, exactly. Because it gives you a chance to look at what it is that's on the, if it's clothes on the bed or whatever, it's there. And so you can just make the decision whether you want to put it back in. Same thing is with our mind. The same thing is with our programming and our beliefs, right?
When you adjusted, you cut yourself off.
When I did what?
When you adjust, no worries. We'll just keep going. My bad. Okay. That's the perfectionist in me. When you sat up like this, you can see the camera. You cut your head off.
Oh
yeah.
I cut my head off. I'm a headless horseman.
Yeah. Just partially.
Yeah.
We can readjust it.
No, I'm good. I can come back down.
Yeah. My bad. I didn't mean to be so anal about that.
That's okay. It's all good, man.
Yeah.
It's all good. There's, one thing for myself is, as I examine myself, as I examine those paradigms, as I examine the beliefs, is to give a lot of leeway, a lot of grace, and not be so judgmental. And so,
what do you mean by that?
Well, I know that there's things that I'm still learning, right? I might be perfect on the inside, but that perfection has yet to be manifest on the outside world. And so, and I realize that for everybody else, they're on their journey, they're on their walk, they're doing what they're doing. And I just give them the grace to walk their path.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the church. I'm a believer in Christ. And he has offered me a lot of grace. He's offered me a lot of love.
For sure.
And so who am I to hold you to a line? Who am I to hold you to a certain... Now, I'm dealing with a situation right now. As a matter of fact, that was this morning. And I can forgive. I don't have to tolerate, right? So I don't have to...
For sure.
I don't have to tolerate people's behavior in my life. I can forgive them. I can let it go. I can, let them learn their lessons as they come around. But I don't have to tolerate it in my world. And so, and I had a conversation with somebody recently. There was, she was talking about an ex-boyfriend, and she's still going over it and talking about it. I'm like, you consume the energy that you consume with this past relationship.
Sometimes it's hard to get out of that, though.
Why? Why? That's a limiting belief. Why is it hard to get out of that?
From my experience, sometimes when you're in the lower vibrational, or maybe broken up with the ex, sometimes it can be just hard to not let it consume your thoughts. For me, or even not even just a breakup, just if something bad happens, it can be hard for me at least to just get out of it. I don't know.
Sure. So something that I wrote recently is a strong mind and a disciplined body. right? So I would look at how you could discipline your body.
Yes, some ways to help. That's where patience comes in a little bit. It's not going to happen overnight. But if I'm built, it's kind of like taking vitamin C or something, like that. It's not going to help you if you're already sick. But you kind of it's a what do they call that? Preventative, yes. Let me hit this button real quick. Yes, it's a preventative way to go about it. And so that's I didn't even think of that scenario, or I didn't even think about like reverse engineering it.
Yeah. And so discipline your body and strengthen your mind.
Jiu-jitsu does both.
Great. Good deal. Yeah. Awesome.
I did two classes with Flip Aguilera, actually.
Oh yeah, I know Flip.
Yeah. And he was on the show. And I want to continue to do it. It does help because he teaches not for the sport, but for the self-defense side, and more of the discipline side. And it teaches you body physically, and it also there's principles behind all of it. And it's pretty cool.
It is
camaraderie with other people, and a sensei, which is a coach in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And so it's and think of how much energy people consume on things that if they really had control or really are not of the, there's a lot that could be said in that as far as surrender. But the energy that people consume on things in their day, the time, the energy that they put towards something, if it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, what else could they really be doing that would be beneficial or supportive of their life and of their business, where they could use it in that direction, whereas they choose to, because it's a choice, they choose to have the conversation about their ex, or they choose to sit in that, and they choose to have that draw their energy out. And so it's really it's a lot about choices. I mean, there's so many dynamics to life.
Yeah. Because maybe it's most likely, actually, not even a maybe. The reason why you're going through that and revisiting those thoughts is probably something from childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, it typically boils down, if you have those issues struggling with certain things, you can usually dial it back all the way to when you were a kid.
Sure. Yep. And it's
certain patterns you learned.
Exactly. And that goes back to your paradigms and examining your paradigms. And that was one of the other things that I had in conversation with her was, you spend a lot of time on this conversation, this dead relationship. It consumes your energy. And I said, the second part was, you need to learn how to let things go. And sometimes things are people. Yeah. Right. And a lot of times we hold on to these people because it helps with our identification, right? It's who we identify as or with. It helps with our self-worth, our self-image. And we're like, oh, well, I need or I want that boyfriend because that fulfills me, when really we should be looking at how we can fulfill ourselves.
For sure. So what are some of the things that you some of your greatest successes in this business so far?
Well, the greatest successes I feel are the little ones, right? The little successes where I was right. We're downtown. You and I are here, and so I was pulling off of the interstate on the Bijou exit, and there was a person holding a sign, and he was acting erratic. And there was a car between us, and the guy caught my attention. I was looking at him, and he was looking at me, but he was still being erratic, right? And basically, what I did was I started seeing the God in him, right? And I started proclaiming peace over his life. And the car in between us was watching this. Their heads were going back and forth, and I kid you not, within the matter of 20 seconds, this guy's countenance had changed. And I was wearing my glasses, so I flipped my glasses up so he could actually see my eyes. And
were you guys just staring at each other? Okay.
Yeah. And within those moments, I could tell I touched his heart. I could tell I touched his life. And he wasn't the same. And so those little victories are the ones that mean so much to me, because Yeah, I feel that we all have nuclear power, right? And nuclear power, you impact a whole bunch of people really quick. And, but you also could, like Hiroshima and whatever, just destroy the whole city.
For sure. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I like that analogy.
Right. So I prefer to operate a little bit more like a surgeon and do be one-on-one with somebody and make an impact in their life and touch their world and help them to grow and develop and to become who they are designed to be. Sweet,
man. Well, is there anything you'd like to promote on this episode before we wrap it up?
Well, I mentioned Glow on the Glow Waffles book on Amazon. I would also like to say that I will give them a free ebook of their 6 higher powers, superpowers. If they go to theglowcenter.com, which is my website, theglowcenter.com, there's a promo code Glow Growth DEV. So that's GLOW Growth DEV. If they use that as a promo code for the ebook, your 6 superpowers, they can download it for free.
Okay, sweet. I might have to hit you up on that.
Right on. Well, it's with you.
I typically am an audiobook person, but I could discipline myself on some reading.
Yeah, and it's not very big. It's a small little, smaller book, a couple pages or whatever, 15 or 20 pages. But the information in it's quite powerful.
Okay.
And yeah.
Oh, sweet, man. Well, it's great having you on the show. I'm glad you came out. I think this is a really good episode. I can't wait to listen back to it, and I can't wait to share it. I think there's some good clips in here. Kleppinger, not Kleppinger. So I was about to make a clip joke, but then I realized it's not that.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. So, well, I think I might get some good clips for you before you even have any clips.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, this has been the COS Business Podcast, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.